that game happened, and honestly, less said about that game, the better. Like, I'll tell you right here, I was not confident going into that game against Baltimore, and I just gotta say, I hate being right in this situation. Just a complete disaster from start to finish. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Before we talk about that game, though, there are a couple other things we can talk about before we get to that game. So let's see how the other Detroit sports teams fared this week.
Detroit basketball!
So starting off, we have the Pistons wrapping up their preseason this week. They had 2 games and they split both games. Had another win against OKC, which looked pretty good. There was a mixed bag for preseason. And then they had the loss against Dallas. So the Pistons ended their preseason 2-2. So it was a mixed bag. It was mainly just the young guys getting a lot of chances. A lot of veterans were resting. The thing about if Jaden Ivey is going to be a starter or just going to be coming off the bench this year, we'll find out in the regular season. I feel like they had him only coming off the bench because, it's preseason. You just give the rookies a chance to play. But yeah, for Pistons, season starts Wednesday when they're playing Miami. And the Pistons' home opener is until this Saturday when they're home to Charlotte against the Bulls. There are going to be some trash talk videos for basketball, but not that many like last year, It's just going to be more part-time because pretty much everything I wanted to do so far, I've caught up on it. Same deal with hockey, not going to be that many too. It's pretty much whenever I get dirt on somebody, that's going to be my time to strike. Like, it's not going to be like football, since football trash talk is king over everything else. Let's be honest on that. Even though there's not that many trash talkers in hockey and basketball and baseball because it's not as popular as football trash talking. So I'm just going to be honest there. But yeah, for my expectations for the Pistons, it's not that high of a bar. Like, not really much of expectations though because it's first year with Monty Williams, still rebuilding. But I think at least the play-in tournament should be a realistic expectation. I mean, they should be able to make the play-in tournament as long as Cade stays healthy and everything goes right. They should be able to make the play-in tournament at least. I think that's at least the bare bottom. I mean, anything other than that is a bonus. But yeah, Pistons season. Can the Pistons turn around and finally get some momentum going? Well, they better because the Tigers, they may or may not be that far away from competing with them for the basement. And they're way behind the Lions and Red Wings for top sports team in Detroit. Their Pistons currently are easily the 3rd best team in Detroit right now. Now on to the Red Wings this weekend. Well, the Wings, it's the only positive we have for Detroit sports this weekend. It's the Wings. They won 4 games this week. And all 4 games were in dominant fashion. They had a dominant shutout 4-0 win over the Columbus Shit Jackets. Then they had that dominant 6-3 win against Pittsburgh, which was mainly highlighted by the appearance of Jamison Williams from the Lions, as J-Mo got to sound the goal horn for Little Caesars Arena. And his commentary on Instagram, if anybody saw it, was pretty legendary and funny as hell, especially when he reacted to the empty netter that the Wings got at the end. Because I'm guessing, just judging by it, that it was J-Mo's first gay hockey game in his entire life. So I won't leave off on any criticism here for not knowing the basics of hockey, but yeah, very obvious J-Mo doesn't understand how an empty net works. Don't worry, J-Mo. We all remember our first hockey game and our moments. Pretty soon, J-Mo, you'll fit right in with Hockey Town. Just give it some time. And then Saturday, they had a dominant win in Ottawa, 5-2. And that game was for first place in the Atlantic. And that game also had a lot of meaning since that was a revenge game. Since it was Alex DeBrincat's first game in Ottawa since the trade. And yeah, DeBrincat also got booed by the crowd. And all DeBrincat did was just laugh it off. So, yeah, DeBrincat just did not get, 0 fucks given from Alex DeBrincat. But DeBrincat did go on. He's had a solid investment. And then adding Sunday, I was feeling down after the Lions game Sunday, but after the Wings went out and beat the shit out of Calgary 6-2, I was a lot happy after that. Just laying a smackdown on the Flames, including DeBrincat getting a hat trick, as DeBrincat now in 6 games has 8 goals, so far DeBrincat has come exactly as advertised throughout the first 6 games of the season, has been worth the investment so far. Like, the DaBrinkCat has easily fixed a lot of Wayne's issues this year, including the consistency issue, because ever since the Waynes dropped their first game of the season, the Waynes have now won 5 straight and are now the top of the division. I know it's early in the season, but is there a case to say the Red Wings are officially back? Because I know it's early in the season, but every game matters towards making the playoffs. I mean, just ask the Lions last year how much early season games mattered. Because it was an early season game against the Seahawks last year that kept Detroit out of playoffs via tiebreaker. So yeah, every game matters. Especially since we saw how much the Wings fell off late in the season. And that Ottawa win, that was a big win considering how bad Ottawa beat Detroit last year late in the season, which derailed any of Detroit's hopes of making the playoffs last year. So yeah, that was good to see. Along with the DaBrinkCat's first hat trick with the Red Wings, you know, very good to see there. Just the DaBrinkCat's been exactly as advertised. Like, to really just put in perspective how much the DaBrinkCat has fixed the Red Wings goal scoring issues. Because the DaBrinkCat's already got 8 goals in 6 games, which is the most a player in the Red Wings history has gone in their first 6 games with the team. Like last year, it took 15 games, nearly a quarter of the season, for one player to hit 7 goals, and that was 2 players hit at the same time, and that was Dylan Larkin and Dominic Kubalik. Yeah, the DaBrinkCat already did that in well under half the time. Nearly triple the time. And 3 times less. But yeah, just the DaBrinkCat just being an absolute fucking beast. I definitely gotta get a DaBrinkCat jersey. It's overdue. But yeah. At least when the Lions get their stuff together, you know, at least there's 2 Detroit teams to look forward to. Whether the Pistons get there or not, yet to be seen. But now on to the Lions game Sunday, and yeah. Like, I knew the Lions were overdue for a bad game at some point, but Jesus Christ. I did not think it was going to be this bad. Holy cow. Like, I knew the Lions were poorly mismatched against the Ravens, but Jesus Christ. Like, everything that could have gone wrong in this game went wrong. Like, nothing went right for the Lions in this game. Like, offense couldn't get anything going. The Ravens defense completely shut everything down. Like, run game, passing game, Lions couldn't do a fucking thing against that Ravens defense. Like that Ravens defense is just that fucking good. You know, Lions defense, they could not stop Lamar or anything for that matter. Like, they could not stop the run. They could not stop the pass. They could not stop Lamar. They could not do anything. Like, there was only 2 positives in this game. And now it's Aiden Hutchinson's fumble recovery, which came a play after he had got that bullshit roughing the passer call, which that was complete horse crap. Because that was not roughing the passer. That was the cleanest fucking tackle I ever seen. Like, that was complete BS, and then Hutchinson recovered the following play by getting a fumble recovery. In the end, though, despite that ref balling, it would not have fucking mattered anyway. The Lions were going to get blown out in this game regardless. So, out of everything to blame, the refs were the goddamn furthest thing from the reason the Lions lost. Don't even bring that shit here. And then there was like Jahmyr Gibbs' touchdown, first career touchdown, which happened in garbage time, which just made the game look a lot which just made the score look a lot closer than it actually was. But yeah, just a very disappointing game. Like, it was pretty much the reincarnation of that Camp Panthers game last year. Just, Lions just got fucking dismantled and fucking got outclassed by the Ravens. Just, you know, I knew the Lions have struggled in Baltimore, and it just got justified this week. Just, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. That's the bottom line. But yeah, you know, this is just kind of a reality check, which I think the team kind of needs it. Because I think they might have been getting a little bit high off their own supply after the last 4 weeks, winning in dominant fashion the last 4 weeks. And this week they kind of got sunk back down to earth along with a good chunk of the fan base. But yeah, you know, all I say is this game, it's not the end of the season. It's just a blip in the radar. The Lions are still a solid team. They just, you know, every good team has a bad day. And the Lions just had their bad day this Sunday. You know, I hate that I called it because I knew, because I had a feeling the Lions' worst game of the season was going to be was going to be against Baltimore. because of how much Detroit struggles at M&T Bank Stadium. But good lord. Like, if you want an explanation of why the Lions always struggle against Baltimore, all I say is, hey, there are just some teams you do well against and some teams you don't, and there are just some environments you do well in, some you don't do well in. And for whatever reason, the Lions just never do well in Baltimore against the Ravens. Don't know why, they just never do well. You know, I think it's just probably the style play the Lions do does not bode well against the Ravens, because, you know, the Lions just can't do anything against the Ravens style of play. You know, plus the Ravens with the win, they're still trying to keep pace in the AFC standings, because they're currently in a three-way tie for second in AFC with Jacksonville and Miami, since the Dolphins lost to the Eagles on Sunday night. You know, they're all a game behind Kansas City for the number 1 spot, which is not surprising. Kansas City's the number 1 team. And I'll be honest here about the Ravens after this game. If I was Dashy, I'd kind of be concerned right now, because I think the Ravens could be the team to beat in the AFC North. If Lamar stays healthy. If he stays healthy, I think the Ravens could be the team to beat over the Bengals. Unless Cincinnati starts getting their shit together. But yeah, just, you know, pretty disappointing game. But I think the one positive we can take out of this game is, hey, at least this game, at least now the Lions know what they need to address entering the trade deadline coming up. And I'll be honest, they need to go deep line and defensive back. They need to get help in the secondary and on the D-line. They need another pass rusher to complement Hutchinson on the other side. Like, Hutchinson can't do it on his own. And they need someone in the secondary because of how banged up the secondary's gone. Especially with C.J. Gardner-Johnson out for the year. You know, they need some help back there. They need some help on the D-line. Like, pretty much everywhere on the, pretty much those two areas on the defense, the Lions need to address either one of those areas or both. There was a possibility where the Lions could have stood pat the trade deadline and stay complacent and trust the process. But I think after this game, I think you've got to make a move at the deadline now. There's no fucking choice at this point. But yeah, I think this game though, I think this game, it just addresses a lot of things. You know, the good thing about this game is at least we got the Lions got their bad game out of the way early in the season, instead of late in the year when it matters the most. But yeah, like, this loss is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the season. It's not SOL. Like, you know, the Lions' schedule is still pretty favorable. I mean, the Lions are still 5-2 in the North. They're still like 3 games up on the rest of the division, because the Packers lost to the Broncos. You know, the only team that really gained anything yesterday was the Chitoilet Bears, because they had that win against the Raiders. But Chicago's still last in the division, so yeah. And let's be honest, Minnesota's going to lose to San Francisco tonight. My Vikings are going to lose as well. So yeah, we're still pretty much, so really nothing really changed in the NFC North. Like, the Lions still run a division, it's still Detroit's division to lose, but, you know, the Lions definitely, even though they've made a lot of progress, you know, this game just shows that they still got a ways to go before they can really hit that level. Like, my expectation for the Lions this year has always remained the same, which was, you know, win a division and win a playoff game. Anything after that is gravy. But yeah, Detroit definitely, you know, they definitely need to address this team, because the team they just played in Baltimore, they're going to probably play a lot of those teams throughout the playoffs. And I'll be honest, Baltimore's a team I don't want to see ever again, because that Ravens team, Detroit just never does well against the Ravens. But yeah, the Lions, honestly, there's nothing really to panic about, because the Lions are where I thought they would be. I said throughout the year that they would be 5-2 at this point. And they're 5-2 right now. Like, honestly, they're in a way better position than they were 365 days ago. Because at this point a year ago, they were like, what, 1-6? Yeah, they're 5-2 right now. And plus, you look at the rest of the Lions' schedule, it's pretty favorable, because the Lions' schedule is pretty weak the rest of the way. Like, they only play one team currently with a winning record the rest of the year, and that's the Cowboys. So, still a pretty favorable schedule. The Lions still have a chance to, you know, get 12, 13 wins. You know, but Detroit definitely needs to get... But Detroit, they need to learn how to win these kind of games against real teams. Bottom line. Like, Detroit needs to make sure this type of loss never happens ever again. Like, you know, losing a close game would have been one thing. But getting your backs completely blown out You know, kind of embarrassing, but I'll be honest, I kind of saw this coming from a mile away. But anyway, the best thing the Lions could do right now is, you know, clean the stuff up, you know, move on, refocus, and get ready for the Raiders on Monday night next week. You know, try and rebound against the Raiders. I mean, here's one good thing about this. I would hate to be the Raiders Monday night, because the last time the Lions got beaten this badly, they beat Detroit, responded by beating the living shit out of Chicago the following week. So yeah, I'd hate to be the Raiders right now. But yeah, anyway, just refocus and try and take the anger out on the Raiders next week. But anyway, I think that wraps it up here. And who knows, maybe the Lions will be the one that gets Josh McDaniels fired from the Raiders. Highly doubt it though, but, you know, stranger shit has happened. But anyway though, I'm out. See you later.